On Dirty Laundry, that song is very revealing for you, and you did reveal how you were in a relationship and it was abusive. We don't know the identity of the guy, but have you forgiven him since then?
Absolutely. We've spoken since then. So, absolutely.
Roy Williams didn't just brush off the claims about hurting Kelly Rowland, he cracked open a vault that's been sealed for almost 2 decades. During a 2024 chat with 5XN, the former NFL player casually revisited why he ended their 2005 engagement, saying, "We didn't know each other well enough." Sounds mature, even level-headed, right? But to anyone who remembers Kelly's 2013 anthem Dirty Laundry, that comment wasn't just a statement, it was a match tossed into a room full of fumes. Because in that song, Kelly didn't just sing about heartbreak, she bared her soul. She talked about pain, control, and the kind of emotional bruises that hide behind picture-perfect smiles. And while she never dropped a name, everyone back then pointed at one man, Roy. But with Roy now denying everything, the internet's buzzing again, and eyes are shifting toward one name with serious weight. Jay-Z.
Itself, I call him the normal, regular guy, the simple guy. He kind of won your heart over. How does that relate to how you are personally as a person, and for a person like that to actually win your heart over?
All it takes is a conversation, which is exactly the way that love began in the movie.
The timing couldn't have been worse for Roy. Everything seemed to crumble all at once. Back in 2023, Kelly dropped a quiet but deadly bomb during an interview, saying her abuser was still a powerful figure in the music industry. She never named him, but she didn't have to, the internet did the math in seconds. By early 2025, Jay-Z's name wasn't floating around as a rumor anymore. It was printed across headlines, tied to 2 major lawsuits that shook Hollywood to its core and sent his legal team into full damage control. The first came from a woman who accused Jay-Z and Sean Diddy Combs of assaulting her when she was just 13, back in 2000. The story was graphic, horrifying even, and for a split second, it felt like one of hip-hop's untouchables might finally face his past. Then, out of nowhere, the woman dropped the case, calling it a money grab. Before that, though, Jay-Z's lawyers fought tooth and nail to get it dismissed, calling her story full of holes. Just weeks later, another bomb dropped. A man named Joseph Monero claimed he'd been taken to a secret freak-off in Miami in 2015, and said Jay-Z and Beyoncé were there. The accusation exploded across national news, then vanished overnight. By mid-April, Monero quietly removed both Jay-Z and Beyoncé from the case after Jay's legal team proved they were nowhere near Miami. He was giving a talk at NYU, and she was relaxing in Hawaii. 2 lawsuits. 2 quick retractions. But one pattern stood out: Jay-Z's team didn't just defend him, they erased him. That cleanup style has become a signature move for the Carters. Insiders in entertainment law even say Jay's star attorney, Alex Spiro, is known for his scorched earth approach, wiping entire stories from existence before they can even breathe. So when Roy Williams came out clearing his name, the Carters' silence hit different. Because while those lawsuits disappeared from court records, another kind of evidence, emotional, behavioral, visual, started bubbling back up online. Fans began connecting old clips, revisiting interviews, and catching the small details everyone missed the first time around. Something wasn't lining up, and the internet was determined to uncover what Jay-Z might really be hiding.
Those stories for years. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think that people wanted those stories for years, and that's just so sad on them because it's not like that. You know what I mean? It's so crazy. And I just think it's so sad that we live in a world where people don't want to see women get along and encourage and empower each other. And that's what we do for it.
At the 2021 premiere of The Harder They Fall, the Netflix hit Jay-Z produced, one red carpet moment stole the whole night. Cameras caught Jay-Z mid-stride when he suddenly froze, turned around, and locked eyes with Kelly Rowland. The internet lost it instantly. His face said everything before he could even speak: shock, confusion, maybe even a flash of guilt. Then came the smile, the quick hug, and that line that sent social media spiraling: "I didn't even know you were here." Was that genuine surprise or a guilty slip? Fans are split right down the middle. Some brushed it off as simple politeness, while others swore they saw the look of a man blindsided by someone who still knew the real story. That clip could have faded into red carpet history, if not for what Kelly said just a few months earlier. In her Cosmopolitan UK interview, Kelly called her cancelled wedding embarrassing. She said she'd been too young, too naive, and that facing the world afterward was humiliating. But one word caught everyone's attention: embarrassing. Not painful. Not sad. Embarrassing. Now, fans can't shake the theory that the shame she talked about had nothing to do with Roy at all. They think it's about what came after him. Because if Roy wasn't the man behind Dirty Laundry, then who was? Someone powerful. Someone with the kind of pull that can rewrite headlines, erase scandals, and make lawsuits vanish like they never existed.
And it was pretty much said like, Jay doesn't really want awards. Well, he go to the Grammys.
Right.
He you know, come into the Black-owned spaces. Let's figure out how to work together. So that way we have the relationship when it matters, not when it's convenient for you and your image. Because they all call us when the story is up that they don't.
Around the same time, the whispers about Jay-Z's quiet control over the media started turning into full-blown chatter. By late 2024, gossip blogger Jason Lee dropped a jaw-dropper on his podcast. He claimed Jay-Z and Beyoncé's team had been calling him nonstop as the Diddy scandal kept growing. He even said, "You can call me yourself, because this right here is going to go viral." The tone? Bold. But the energy? Tense. Not long after, Jason posted another warning: if he ever went missing, people should remember who'd been reaching out. He tried to play it off like it wasn't a threat, but you could hear the unease in his voice. It sounded like he knew exactly whose buttons he was pressing. And it didn't stop there. Around that same time, media host Piers Morgan made a strange confession. He admitted Jay-Z's lawyer had demanded edits to an interview with Jaguar right after she made some disturbing claims about the Carters. Morgan quickly went on air, retracting everything and calling the statements totally false. But the speed of that apology? It made fans even more suspicious. What were Jay-Z and Beyoncé working so hard to cover up? Amid all this chaos, Kelly Rowland's unwavering loyalty to Jay-Z started to look curious. In early 2024, she publicly praised his Grammy speech, calling him one of the greatest men I know. She's defended him for years, calling him her big bro, even while fans dissected her old lyrics like evidence boards. But people close to Destiny's Child say the bond between Kelly and Jay-Z ran deeper than anyone realized. He wasn't just a mentor, he was a constant presence. Studio sessions, tours, promo shoots, Jay was there. Back then, the girls were barely in their 20s, while Jay-Z was already a powerful mogul pushing 30. That kind of age gap and influence created a serious imbalance. And now, fans can't help but ask the question that's been hanging in the air: what was really happening behind the scenes?
Okay, no, I mean, with this record, I did want to be more honest when it came to relationships and my take and my perspective on relationships. That sounds like something else and not something.
When Dirty Laundry dropped in 2013, Kelly didn't just sing, she confessed. The lyrics painted a chilling picture of a woman trapped under control, cut off from the world, and constantly watched by a partner who dictated everything she did. She admitted he made her feel invisible standing next to her best friend's spotlight, a line that hit way too close to home for fans who knew her story. People started connecting dots fast. Her brief engagement to Roy Williams didn't match that kind of emotional darkness. Roy had settled into a quiet life in Texas, far removed from the flashing lights. But Jay-Z? He sat at the very center of the empire that shaped Kelly's career, her label, her publicity, her producers, all tied to New York and all tied to him. So when Kelly later hinted that her abuser was still powerful in the music world, fans couldn't help but notice how Roy didn't fit the profile. Not even close.
Oh, no, when I get nervous, I tell the truth.
We can't ignore the timing of Kelly's breakdowns either. Just months after Dirty Laundry dropped in 2013, paparazzi caught her leaving a private dinner with Beyoncé and Jay-Z, tears streaming down her face. No one ever explained what happened, just photos that went viral in minutes. Some fans said it was happy tears, a sweet emotional moment among friends. But looking back now, people aren't so sure. Maybe it wasn't joy at all. Maybe it was confrontation, or closure, between three people with a history that ran deeper than anyone realized. Meanwhile, Jay-Z's spotless public image was already starting to crack. The long-running paternity claims from Raymir Satterthwaite kept circling back like a ghost he couldn't shake. Raymir insists Jay-Z is his father, dating the story all the way back to the early 90s. Jay's team has called it a smear campaign for years, but Raymir's side says it's simple: just take the DNA test. The twist? Raymir's late mother was reportedly only 16 when she met Jay-Z. Another young girl. Another suspicious age gap. Another legal dance to avoid a straight answer. And when you line that up with the whispers around Kelly, the pattern starts feeling way too familiar. The power, the silence, the timing. None of it looks like a coincidence anymore.
I don't have no felonies. I'm not crazy or none of that. It's like, I just want the truth, and it's so hard to get it from the courts. And seems like Jay-Z don't want to say anything. So, I don't want to see him go down for something that you could have just got taken care of. That's it.
Inside the industry, whispers are getting louder about just how much control Jay-Z's team really wields over the media. Publicists say stories about his past have quietly vanished after a single call from Roc Nation. One journalist even admitted that editors treat him like radioactive material, a name so dangerous it could cost outlets access to half the entertainment world. That kind of pressure makes Kelly's silence look less like loyalty and more like pure survival. She's seen firsthand what happens when someone challenges that system, and it never ends well. Trace it back to Destiny's Child's early tours, and the picture darkens further. Matthew Knowles once revealed that 2 older male performers were kicked off a joint tour for inappropriate behavior toward the girls. If that was happening right under the industry's nose, who knows what else got swept under the rug? Not long after, Jay-Z entered that same circle, working closely with Beyoncé and staying tightly connected to Kelly. If that pattern really continued, Dirty Laundry wasn't just a song, it was a warning hiding in plain sight. By the time Roy Williams came forward denying any abuse, Kelly had already rebuilt her public image as a respected actress and mentor, thriving in films and talent shows. She had every reason to keep that dark chapter buried. But Roy's calm denial cracked it all wide open again. Claiming he ended things out of maturity, not conflict, completely clashed with the raw fear and pain Kelly had poured into her lyrics. Suddenly, fans were replaying every verse, every tearful interview, realizing maybe they'd missed something massive. And now, all the clues keep circling back to one name, the man whose power still runs deep across the music world.
I mean, why waste my time?
And sometimes you respond to something that brings way more attention to it, too.
That too. And it's just, it goes into another space, and then you're just like, are y'all not listening to?
Jay-Z has never uttered a single word about the rumors tying him to Kelly Rowland's Dirty Laundry. Ask him directly, and his team either clams up or dishes out short, vague denials from unnamed sources. But his actions? They speak volumes. Fast lawsuits, media takedowns, carefully managed appearances, it all paints a picture of control. Every new claim pops up, then disappears within days. Every time someone whispers his name, posts vanish, platforms go silent. To many, that isn't a coincidence, it's orchestration. Even the smallest moments start to look loaded in hindsight. During Beyoncé's Renaissance celebrations, Kelly attended several events, but made a point to avoid any joint moments with Jay-Z. At one premiere, photographers caught her standing several feet away until they nudged her closer. She smiled, but her posture was tense. Fans noticed immediately. Nerves? Strategy? When the man at the center of every rumor controls the narrative, even silence feels like proof. As of mid-2025, neither Kelly, Roy, nor Jay-Z has clarified a thing, but the internet isn't letting go. Forums dig through old clips. Body language experts break down every glance. Anonymous insiders hint more truth bombs are coming. Some even suggest the 2025 trials tied to Diddy's alleged network could drag other major industry names into the spotlight. And fans are bracing, could Jay-Z's name finally surface? This isn't just online speculation. Jay-Z's history with young women has documented threads. In late 2024, rapper Foxy Brown erupted on social media after rumors spread she'd signed an NDA about her past with him. Her message was fierce, "Ain't no MF alive could stop my story." She wasn't hiding behind codes, she reminded the world she met Jay-Z as a teenager, barely 16, when they recorded their iconic 1996 track together. The chemistry was obvious, the lyrics flirty, and insiders swore their connection ran deeper than music. Then came 2001, when Nas dropped the legendary diss track Ether. He didn't just aim for Jay-Z's ego, he pulled from the whispers the whole hip-hop world already knew. Heard Foxy got you hot cause you kept your face in her. That one bar reignited every old rumor about Jay-Z's private life, dragging decades-old whispers back into the spotlight.
I'm saying, Sean Carter, you're a piece of shit. Taking Pimp C wasn't bad enough. You just want to go down there and you want to just remove all of the balls from every real gangster in Houston.
That wasn't the last time Jay-Z's love life came back to shadow him. Around that same era, Nas's ex, Carmen Bryan, claimed she had a 5-year affair with Jay-Z, one that allegedly ended in pregnancy. In a 2017 interview, Carmen revealed she lost the baby but stood firm that the relationship was real. Her timeline fit perfectly with Jay-Z's early rise to fame, painting a picture of a man whose polished business persona hid a far messier private world. And Carmen wasn't the only one. In 2025, a Maryland woman named Letitia Miser went viral after claiming she was Jay-Z's daughter. She said her family had known for years and that her mother was only 16 when she met him. The resemblance was uncanny, and the timeline, the early 90s, long before Beyoncé, felt almost too precise. What followed was predictable. Jay-Z's legal team didn't just respond, they went into full lockdown mode. Because when it comes to protecting him, his lawyers don't fight scandals, they delete them. The perfect example? Reimer Satterthwaite, the man who's spent over a decade insisting Jay-Z is his father and still hasn't gotten that one simple DNA test. Court filings show Jay-Z's attorneys have fought Reimer at every possible angle, challenging jurisdictions, deadlines, and even claiming the statute of limitations expired before Reimer was old enough to defend himself. Their playbook is brutal in its precision: delay, deflect, outspend, and outlast. Reimer's team has accused Jay-Z's camp of using shady tactics to block the DNA test, hiding behind sealed documents and procedural roadblocks. Every motion, every hearing feels less like a quest for truth and more like a slow, methodical erasure. This isn't just legal defense, it's legal domination.
I hope he would think about it and this would be in his mind, but I wouldn't actually know what another person is feeling.
When you look at the pattern, it's hard not to wonder, if Jay-Z's team fights this fiercely to block a paternity claim, how far would they go to bury an abuse allegation? Especially one coming from someone still thriving in the spotlight, like Kelly Rowland. Back in 2023, Kelly never called her abuser famous. She called him powerful. And that choice of word wasn't random. It felt like a quiet warning disguised as composure. In this industry, power doesn't just mean fame, it means control. Control over the press, the story, and whose voice gets heard. And we've already seen how Jay-Z's machine operates when that control gets tested. Take 2024. Piers Morgan Air Jaguar writes explosive claims about the Carters, alleging dark ties to Diddy's circle and saying people were being held against their will. It was wild, shocking, and short-lived. Within days, Jay-Z's lawyer Alex Spiro, the same man leading his defense in those paternity and assault cases, stepped in hard. He demanded the network pull the segment immediately. And just like that, Morgan complied, fast. He went on air to call the comments false and legally unsafe. The show that prided itself on being uncensored suddenly censored itself. That wasn't a coincidence. That was influence, fear, and money, all moving in perfect sync.
Beyonce and Jay-Z will do anything to destroy anyone who speaks out against them.
Behind the scenes, insiders whisper that Alex Spiro has become the most intimidating name in entertainment law. They call him the ultimate fixer, the guy whose single phone call can make headlines disappear before morning. Some journalists even admit they've been quietly told to avoid certain stories if they want to keep access to Roc Nation's roster. The result is a culture of silence, where the truth slips out only in fragments before being swallowed again. So when Kelly Rowland calls Jay-Z one of the greatest men I know, no one can say for sure if it's loyalty or survival. Because if she ever chose to speak her truth, she'd be up against the same legal force that's erased entire scandals without a trace. That's the real weight behind it all. Dirty Laundry isn't just a song, it's a riddle. Half confession, half cry for help. For years, everyone thought it was about Roy Williams. But once he denied everything, the puzzle flipped. The only person who still fits the picture, a powerful mentor from her inner circle, untouchable for 2 decades, is Jay-Z. And every time that theory starts to spread, his team clamps down. Posts vanish. Footage disappears. Articles get rewritten. The pattern repeats, Foxy Brown's teenage collaboration recast as innocent nostalgia. Carmen Bryan's pregnancy was brushed off as gossip. Reimer's paternity case is buried under legal paperwork. Letitia Miser's claims are fading quietly into the algorithm. Maybe each story alone sounds like a coincidence. But together, the outline's too sharp to ignore. And through it all, Kelly Rowland stays silent, calm, poised, deliberate. She's never named her abuser. Yet Jay-Z's camp has spent all of 2025 making sure no one else does either. So here's the question, if every one of these stories is false, why fight so hard to erase them? Is this a ruthless smear campaign against a legend, or the quiet panic of a man with too much to hide? Share your thoughts in the comments below, the truth feels closer than ever. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you on the next one.